Hello everyone, I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to add a health bar and how to add health potions so that way when your player is in collision with an enemy, the health will go down, and then if the player is in collision with a health potion, the health will go back up. So I'm going to go ahead and start a brand new scene here and start from scratch. Okay. The first step for us is to create a new object, or at least locate your player object. I'm going to go through this process so you can kind of get an idea of how I do this. For quick development, sometimes you could spend more time trying to figure out what your player looks like or all the animations when we don't really have time for that. So I'm just going to create a red player character, and I'm going to make sure that the object is named player. And then I'm going to add another object, which will be a sprite, and I'm going to call this enemy. Add animation, edit with Piscal, and I'm going to go ahead and make the sprite a blue color. Paint bucket tool, and save and apply. All right, now I need a kind of like a ground. So I'm just going to call this ground. I'm going to edit with Piscal, and I will color the ground black and save and apply. So I made the ground a tiled, so that way, scroll down here. All right, and then I want to, actually I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to go ahead and build my simple scene here. Drag up my ground, drag this over. I'm going to place my enemy on top of the ground, and I'm going to put my player. All right, and now I'm going to add a health bar. So create a new object, sprite. I'm going to call this health bar, and add an animation, edit with Piscal. And I'm going to use the rectangle tool. I'm going to change the color to green because I want it to be a green health bar. And kind of draw that in the middle. Try and not leave any space on this side like I did here. Use the pen tool. There we go. And I'm going to fill it with the paint bucket tool. Save. Health bar, and that's good. All right. So let's drag the health bar out. And I want to put this health bar on a different layer. So I'm going to open up the layers menu, which is located right here. Open the layers editor. And I'm going to add a layer. And I'm going to rename this layer user interface. Now, some of you might already have that. So in that case, that's fine. All right, so the UI, these are the things that are going to sit at the top of the game. So now I want to open the properties panel, which is right here. And I'm going to do the drop down and change that to UI. So that way, when I preview it, that sits at the top. Now I can't move my character, so I need to quickly add a behavior to the ground. Add a behavior. And I'm going to make this a platform. Press apply. And now I'm going to go to my player behavior, add a behavior, and I'm going to make this a platform character. Apply. Now let's preview, make sure it's working. And we have a player. All right. So the next part is to double click your player or right click and edit object variables. So we want to find the variables tab for your player object. We're going to add a variable. We're going to call the first variable health, and we're going to give it a value of 20. And we're going to add a second variable and call this max health. Make sure there are no spaces. and we're going to set that to 20. All right, so now we have our simple scene. Our player has two variables, health and max health. All right, now let's set up the behaviors. So we're going to add an event group, and we're going to call this event group health bar. And I'm going to add an event, but I'm going to drag it over right here, drag it over so it's a part of this event group. So that way, if I need to collapse or open it up, I can. And now I'm going to add an action to the health bar for the width of the health bar. And what this is going to do is it's going to automatically update the width of the health bar depending on how much health you have. So the width of the health bar is set to 100 divided by player.variable, and in parentheses max health times player.variable health. Okay, press OK. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to add a new condition. And in this condition, we'll say if the player is in collision with the enemy, that's our condition, we're going to do player variable, value of an object variable, and the variable in this case is health, and we're going to subtract 5. So it's set at 20, we're going to subtract 5. All right, let's go ahead and preview that. So what you should see up here on the top is the health bar goes down. Take a look. And it disappeared completely. So we need to add one thing here. We want to add a condition underneath this to have it only happen once while true. So trigger once while true, all those things. Now let's take a look. Okay. So you see the health bar is going down, and now it's at 0. Right? So players in collision with the enemy, change the variable health of player and subtract 5 from that. All right, now let's add health potions. So I'm going to add a new object, make it a sprite. I'm going to call this health potion. Add an animation, edit with Piscal, and I'm just going to draw something really simple here, like a sphere, fill in the color, call it good. So I'm going to add a health potion in front of the enemy, and I'm going to add one after the enemy. So now let's go back to our events, and I'm going to add a new event group. And I'm going to call this health potion. Create a new event. And now with this, if the player is in collision with the health potion, we're going to do the player variable, value of an object variable, health plus 5. Now we need to add one other condition to this event. So I'm going to go to condition, player, value of an object variable. If the value of health is not equal to player.variable max health. And what that does is makes it so we can't pick up the health potion if our health is full. So let's take a look. So can't pick up the potion, damage, now we can pick up the potion. Now you can delete that potion after it's done by adding a delete.